So picture this. You walk into a room, there's a pool table, you pick up a cue, and, well, you immediately feel totally out of your element. Look, you are absolutely not alone there. But today, we're going to transform you from a hesitant spectator right into a confident player. We're taking a chronological journey together, a complete, step-by-step beginner's guide to mastering billiards. We're going to cover the whole shebang, from picking out your very first cue stick all the way to sinking that target ball with absolute precision. So whether you've literally never held a cue or you're just looking to completely rebuild your fundamentals from the ground up, you're in the right place. Okay, let's dive right into this.
Here's a quick look at our roadmap for today. Step 1, getting your gear and grip right. 2, forming that perfect bridge. 3, dialing in your stance and the stroke. 4, aiming using the ghost ball method. And finally, step 5, the basics of cue ball control.
All right, let's kick things off with step 1, your gear and grip. Getting started.
Before we even think about the geometry of the table, we've got to get you the right equipment. If you're standing over at the rack trying to pick a cue, you're going to want one that's roughly 57 to 59 inches long, weighing in anywhere between 17 and 20 ounces. That right there is the gold standard for stability. But hey, beyond those specs, take a really close look at the stick itself. You want to find a cue that is perfectly straight. Seriously, roll it on the table if you have to, and check the tip. You're looking for a shape with a curve that sits right somewhere between the profile of a diamond and the diameter of a nickel. Okay, once you've got your cue, it's time to actually hold the thing. Now, this is exactly where most beginners tense up. Instead, I want you to imagine someone literally tossing the cue stick to you. You know that way your hand just naturally wraps around it to catch it? That is your grip. Not too tight, not too light. And whatever you do, don't point the cue down. Here is the absolutely crucial anatomical key. Keep your back arm, your shooting arm, in a straight line that is perfectly perpendicular to the floor.
Moving right along to step 2, forming the perfect bridge. This is all about hand placement.
Think of it this way. Your grip hand is the engine, but your bridge hand, that's the steering wheel. So let's build an open bridge. Step 1, place your non-shooting hand completely, totally flat on the table. Then, brace your thumb firmly right up against your pointer finger. Step 2, simply let the cue stick rest right in that natural V shape you just created. Just like that, your hand acts as this solid, grounded tripod on the felt, giving you a totally smooth, frictionless channel for the cue to glide right through.
Now for those shots where you need a bit more security, we're going to use a closed bridge. Step 1, make a circle with your pointer finger and thumb. Step 2, press that circle tightly against your middle finger. And step 3, carefully thread the cue right through that top hole you've created. Now a huge tip for both of these bridges, actively spread your bottom fingers super wide on the table. You want absolute base stability. And if you need to adjust the vertical height of your shot, just simply bend your knuckles up or down.
So you built this amazing bridge, but where exactly does it go?
Well, your magic number here is 8 to 10 inches. You want to place your newly constructed bridge hand exactly 8 to 10 inches away from the cue ball. Getting this specific distance down gives you the perfect optimal balance. It's enough room to generate some real power in your stroke, but it's close enough that you still maintain absolute control and accuracy. All right, step 3, stance and the stroke. Let's get your body positioned correctly. Your hands are perfectly set up now, so let's build the rest of your posture. Before you even step into the table, you have to visualize this concept, the shot line. Imagine this as the exact imaginary path you want that cue ball to travel down to hit your target. The big takeaway here is this: every single part of your stance is built entirely around this one invisible line. You don't just awkwardly stand near the table, you literally anchor yourself to the shot line.
Let's break down the anatomy of that stance. First, place the tip of your back shooting foot directly on that imaginary line, turned outward anywhere from 45 to 90 degrees. Next up, spread your feet at least shoulder width apart so you have a rock-solid, balanced foundation. And finally, lower yourself down until your bridge, your cue stick, your shooting arm, and the very dead center of your vision are all perfectly aligned on that single shot line.
Now think of the stroke itself as a timeline. Okay, you're set up. Now take a few practice strokes. Keep the cue perfectly level, no more than an inch off the rail. Then, stop. Check your alignment. Everything look good? Okay, pull the cue back slowly, transition into a smooth, even forward acceleration right through the cue ball. And the most important part? Stay down. Seriously, do not pop your head up. Stay completely frozen in your stance until that cue ball is long gone.
Step 4, aiming and the ghost ball. Time for some mental geometry. Okay, we've mastered the physical mechanics, so here is the exact question every single beginner runs into. You can shoot perfectly straight now, sure, but where exactly are you supposed to aim the cue ball? Because think about it, if you aim right at the pocket, you're going to sink the cue ball. That's a scratch, it's a foul, your opponent gets the ball in hand, and honestly, if they're any good, it's game over. We need to sink the colored object ball, not the white cue ball.
Enter the absolute greatest aiming secret in billiards, the ghost ball method. Here's how you do it. Imagine a straight line drawn from the center of the pocket directly through the center of your target ball. Now, visualize an imaginary, clear, ghost ball sitting perfectly on that line, physically frozen against your target ball. No matter where you're standing around the table, all you have to do is aim the dead center of your cue ball at the center of that imaginary ghost ball. It's that simple. If you hit the ghost ball, you make the shot.
Now, a really quick caveat here. The ghost ball method is absolutely the gold standard for learning how to aim, but, we live in a world with real-world physics. Because of friction, the exact moment the balls collide, there's this phenomenon called throw that can slightly shift your object ball off that perfect line. The only way to truly master throw is to just get your hands on a table and practice. You'll eventually develop this natural, intuitive feel for exactly how much you need to adjust.
And finally, step 5. Cue ball control basics. Mastering spin. Making the shot is really only half the battle. Setting up your next shot, that is what makes you a true player. You control where the cue ball goes after impact by changing exactly where your cue tip strikes the white ball. If you strike low on the cue ball, you apply backspin, which basically draws the cue ball back toward you after it hits the target ball. Strike high on the cue ball, and it forces the ball to follow the target ball forward. And if you want it to just stop completely dead in its tracks, hit it just slightly below center.
But what about when you're shooting at an angle? Well, the cue ball naturally wants to travel down what's called the tangent line. This is a path traveling perfectly perpendicular, meaning at a 90-degree angle, to your aiming line, starting the exact moment the cue ball contacts the object ball.
So how do we manipulate that natural path? By using spin to basically hijack the tangent line. Topspin is going to push the cue ball forward, essentially steering it in front of that natural line. Bottom spin yanks it backwards, pulling it behind the tangent line. And if you strike the cue ball off-center to the left or the right, you're applying side spin, which acts kind of like a steering wheel to alter the angle the ball bounces off the rails.
Speaking of rails, let's briefly touch on banks and kicks. The golden rule of thumb for beginners hitting the rails at a medium speed without any crazy spin is incredibly straightforward. Angle in equals angle out. If you're trying to bounce a ball off the rail to a target, simply look at the total distance between the ball and the target, divide that distance in half, and aim for that exact halfway point on the rail.
And there you have it. From finding the right stick to visualizing ghost balls and manipulating tangent lines, you've got the complete foundation. So I'll leave you with this one thought. Now that you actually know the mechanics, the physics, and the geometry hiding right there in plain sight on the felt, are you ready to chalk your cue, step up to the shot line, and confidently call your very first pocket? Get out there and start practicing. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.